Well, I started doing coaching,
Okay, so,
and that was by far the biggest instigator.
so coaching made it very real to you that you needed to do your lead generation. But before that, I guess you would say that you had a big why.
Oh, absolutely. My big why is I'm a single mother and have 2 little children and very young, and I'm the only income in my household.
Okay.
And so knowing that's the case, my why is I want them to have a great life.
Right.
I want to have a good life. I want to know that I can do the things that I want to do for them and also save for the future and give and have a full life.
Okay.
And so my big why is very big.
So you got a big why.
A really big why.
And sometimes that's one of the things Gary says, that top agents have to have a really big why. Why are you going to get out of the bed in the morning? You work for yourself, and a lot of times self will say, hey, I think I'll just sleep in today. And if you have a really big why, he says you have to have a really big why, because otherwise you're going to just say, you know what, I think I'm taking off today, because you're self-employed, right? So if you have a big why, it drives you out of that bed. It drives you out of your comfort zone so that you'll get out there and do the things that maybe you really don't want to do.
And I think that's the biggest thing is that why, saying, okay, I know that at the end of the day, if I can look at myself and know that I've done a good job, it's not about me, it's about my kids and about their future and about what I can provide for them.
All right, now you said that you were in coaching before, and so how did that work out?
Well, Bill and I did coaching, and I would come in and every Friday, and we would spend 30 minutes going over my list of things that I wanted to do and wanted to accomplish, and then we would talk about how I'm going to go about doing that.
And do you feel like that process helped you grow?
It did. It definitely helped me grow. I think more than anything, it got me thinking, okay, it's about what I'm going to write down and what I'm going to accomplish, and thinking through my time management. Because by far, that's my biggest issue, is juggling everything.
So there was a bold saying in the classes that we had that what you focus on, you achieve.
Expands.
Expands.
Yeah,
what you focus on expands. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So you started focusing on what you wanted to do with your business, the number of appointments that you need to make, your goals. You started looking at those on a routine basis.
Right.
And so that started becoming a reality for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. What was your biggest obstacle that you faced with that coaching, with that structure?
Well, I think the accountability. I think more than anything, it would be like, oh, well, it's just Bill, I can skip this week, or no offense. That, just not making it a priority and not seeing that is a component to my bigger picture of my business.
Okay. And so why is coaching more effective now?
Well, because I'm paying for it.
Okay. And so that's a sizable amount. So you have some skin in the game, and
Absolutely.
you're actually writing a check every month to this coach.
Right.
Okay. And so now, would you say that you're being held more accountable because you're writing that check?
Oh, absolutely. Every Wednesday at 1:30, Dave Norberg is my coach for MAPS, and he calls me and he says, okay, how many listings did you take from last week? You said you were going to take 5. Did you take 5? And I have to tell him, how many listings did you convert to be in a contingent or pending? And if I say the week before, if I've set my goal at 3 and I've only gotten 2, I have to explain why I didn't get those pendings.
Okay. And so now, are these Dave's goals or are these your goals?
These are my goals. I come up with them at the end. The last 2 minutes of our call, I come up with my next week's coaching goals. And one thing that it's helped me understand is, okay, you've got to have something to focus on. You've got to be looking looking up and looking ahead. I never dreamed I could take 6 listings every week, week in, week out. And that's what he's got me doing. And it's not that he's doing it, it's just that it's helping me look at it and achieve it.
Okay, so you are telling me that you actually have a listing inventory goal?
Absolutely.
You have a closed production goal?
Right.
And you have a lead generation goal?
Absolutely.
The number of people you need to touch.
Mm-hmm.
You know your numbers, in other words.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't know my numbers before. Just like I said, my first year in real estate, I'm not sure how many I closed or what I did. And I know exactly what it is, and every week I have to follow up on that.
Well, let me share some numbers with you.
Okay.
I'll share them with the audience. In 2009, you were ranked 378 out of 1,184 agents. So you actually finished up in 2009 378. In 2010, you made tremendous progress. You finished up 96 in our entire MLS board. out of 1,095. We lost 100 agents that did business that year. And this year, year to date, Stephanie is number 11 on our entire board.
But my goal is to finish in the top 10 for this year, finish the year strong. We still have 6 months. And then, but it's not about this. It's about my big why. It's about what that's going to bring to my family, being able to save for college, being able to definitely pay my bills and be able to give my kids the life that I feel like I want to.
Well, I would say that you are definitely on track. You know your numbers. You're monitoring your numbers. You're motivated. You know your goals. And so you're working diligently. You're being held accountable. And just so you guys know, Stephanie, in the month of May, she was number 1 on our board. Number 1 on our board in the month of May. So let's talk a little bit. Would you recommend coaching to others wanting to increase their production?
Absolutely. And I think in hindsight, if I would have taken more accountability with Phil at the level that the Market Center is offering. But one thing about coaching, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, is it's not going to work unless you utilize it. It's not going to work unless you want to do it, because the coach could be Gary Keller himself, but if you don't do what the coach is telling you to do, it's not going to matter. It's all about your big why and what motivates you to do more.
And having the accountability
And
to
having
do
the
it.
accountability. Absolutely.
So why would you recommend coaching?
Oh, because I think it definitely helps you grow your business, the accountability, and also just being able to rattle off your numbers and know your numbers and know what you've got to do. Because come Friday, if I haven't made, my goal is to make 20 calls a day. And if I haven't made 20 calls each day, then I have an inventory of 28 calls I've got to make. So Friday morning, I'm like frantic at my house.
So
trying to get my
so
calls
what you're
made.
saying, if you don't make your goal one day, you have to increase your goal the next day so that
Absolutely.
you stay on track.
Absolutely, because I know Wednesday's coming, and I've got to tell him how many calls I made. And
So it's just like if we were making a trip to St. Louis and we were going to do it over a 2 or 3 day period, if we didn't make the 100 miles we need to make that day, we have to make that additional mileage the next day, or we're not going to go ride at our destination.
got to make it up. That's right. And I know in Bold we talked about if you erase it from your schedule, replace. And you do have to replace it. But the key is not to erase it in the first place. Really, really protect that time for lead generation.
So let me ask you this question. What would you say to someone that's out there that really has a desire and wants to increase their business, but they're sitting there going, man, that's a lot of money to pay for coaching?
Well, I would say utilize what the Market Center has. I think one of our biggest errors that we do with Keller Williams is we don't utilize everything we have available. I tell you, I'm such a geek. I will sit in my bed at night with my laptop after I've gotten my kids to bed and watch the videos that are on KWLS, because that's free. Yeah, well, we pay for it, but it's part of our package. And then also utilize Phil as the team leader and utilize what's available, utilize Candy, utilize what's here at the Market Center first, but really commit to that. And then if you want to expand more, there's different levels of max coaching.
Is there anything that I didn't think to ask you that you'd like to mention to the group?
Let me think. Well, I think one of the things that I just know we get in a terrible habit of saying, well, the market's not good and the market's bad. Well, thankfully, I never lived in a great market. I didn't know what it was like to put a sign in the yard and have it sold overnight or anything like that, because I never was a realtor in that market. So the great thing is, I'm just kind of like, if I can make it now, I can make it anytime. And just push past the market. And I'm telling you, I just turn off the naysayers. Anybody that tells me, hey, you have to work on Saturday, and I'm like, yeah, ain't it great? I mean, because it's not about me. It's about my life. It's about what I want to do. I'm taking my kids to Disney World. I want to be able to do that. My 9-year-old is at camp. I'm going to start crying because this is such a big deal for me. I was able to send my 5-year-old to camp and my 9-year-old to camp, and I would have not been able to do it living the life I'd lived 4 years ago. But now they're at camp and they're enjoying that and experiencing all those new things, and I'm able to do that because I'm sticking to my schedule.
Awesome. Well, you're doing really good, and
Oh,
I think
thank
you're
you.
going to be in that top 10. I have no doubt about it.
Well, we're working on it.
Thank